How aware are you of the global events unfolding around us? Do you realize that a tragedy recently took place off Libya's coast? Our world is vast and filled with countless stories, but today we focus on a heartbreaking event that occurred off the coast of Libya. It was here that a ship carrying at least 43 migrants and refugees sank, marking the first tragic event of its kind in the central Mediterranean for the year 2021. These individuals, mainly from Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Ghana, and the Gambia, embarked on a perilous journey from Zawiya in search of a better life. Their hopes were shattered when their vessel succumbed to the harsh weather conditions just a few hours into their voyage. Only 10 survivors were brought back to land by Libyan authorities. Libya, a major gateway for African migrants and refugees trying to reach Europe, has become a deadly threshold. The conflict within the country pushes its people towards the sea, onto the most dangerous migration route where 1 in 6 people perish. It's a tragedy that could have been avoided, a tragedy that we all need to remember. But what led to this dreadful incident? Let's delve into the chronology of events. The day began as any other for the migrants and refugees aboard the ill-fated ship. They set sail from Zawiya, a coastal city in Libya, their hearts filled with hopes and dreams of a better life. Little did they know that these dreams would soon be swallowed up by the merciless waves of the Mediterranean. The ship, carrying a human cargo far beyond its capacity, was at the mercy of the unforgiving sea. The weather, which had been fair at the time of departure, took a drastic turn for the worse a few hours into the journey. The ship was ill-equipped to handle the tempestuous conditions, and before long it succumbed to the overwhelming force of the storm. In the chaotic aftermath of the shipwreck, dozens of lives were lost to the sea. The cold, indifferent waters of the Mediterranean became an unmarked grave for those who had hoped to find refuge on European shores. But amid the tragedy, there was a glimmer of humanity. 10 survivors, mainly from Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Ghana, and the Gambia, were rescued by the Libyan authorities. These individuals, who had narrowly escaped the clutches of death, were brought back to land. Their journey had started with the promise of a new beginning, but it had ended in a nightmare of loss and despair. A journey that started with hope ended in a nightmare. This incident is not an isolated one. It is part of a larger, more complex problem. Libya, a North African nation, serves as a significant gateway for African migrants and refugees who are determined to reach Europe. This is not a journey taken lightly or without cause. The complexity of the situation in Libya, marked by conflict and instability, often leaves individuals with no choice but to risk the perilous journey across the Mediterranean Sea. The central Mediterranean route, notorious for its danger, is the path many of these brave souls take. It's a daunting gamble, with as many as 1 in 6 people not surviving the journey. Yet, the desperate hope for a better life continues to fuel these daring attempts. Human smuggling operations are a grim reality in this context. These traffickers exploit the desperation of those fleeing poverty, launching overcrowded vessels from Libya's coast. The boats are often ill-equipped for the journey, further escalating the risk for these already vulnerable groups. Sadly, many of those who manage to survive the treacherous journey are forcibly returned to Libya. Survivors describe their experiences in Libya as a living hell. Since February of 2017, at least 36,000 people have been intercepted and returned to Libya by the Coast Guard, often to face inhumane conditions once more. This scenario paints a grim picture of the challenges faced by migrants and refugees, trapped in a cycle of despair and danger. But it is crucial to recognize that this is not just Libya's problem or Europe's problem, it is a global crisis, a human crisis. It's a wider problem that requires a global solution. Awareness is the first step towards change. Each one of us holds the power to make a difference, no matter how small it might seem. We can start by spreading the word about the struggles faced by migrants and refugees on their perilous journeys across the Mediterranean. By sharing their stories, we remind the world that behind each statistic, there's a human life filled with hopes and dreams. Advocacy is another crucial step. Let's urge our governments to enact policies that respect the rights and dignity of these individuals. We need to push for measures that not only address the immediate risks they face at sea, but also tackle the root causes of their displacement. There are also numerous organizations working tirelessly to assist those who have been affected by these tragedies. Supporting them can be as simple as making a donation, volunteering your time, or even amplifying their work on your social media platforms. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It requires persistence, commitment, and collective action. But if we all do our part, we can help create a safer, more humane world for everyone. Your voice matters. Use it to make a difference.